Welcome back to the Not Televised Revolution. I am incredibly thrilled to do probably my first video edition of the Not Televised Revolution. There I am. I'm on the screen. I'm on the screen with you.
Holy.
We got the EveryMan Bob Bobson. Say a little something about yourself, my dude.
What's there to say? I am crazy enough to think that we're pretty much the same.
Didn't you love it when Bernie Sanders was on Fox News Town Hall and he got the crowd to chant yes, 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 no?
That
goes,
was my favorite part, man.
Me too.
That was when he freaking knocked it out of the ballpark. To be honest, he did. He knocked it out of the ballpark.
Like onto the street on the other side of the block, out of the ballpark, like
all the way out of Wrigley Stadium, dude, just straight into the lake.
Baseball too. It was so.
That was it. Like, just roll in there, freaking. Dude, do you think we should be giving tax breaks to billionaires? No. Yeah, that's pretty much what the country believes.
That was my favorite too.
Everybody calls me an extremist, but take it to the public.
But at the same time, I'm telling you what everyone actually believes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we believe. Yeah,
And so I guess actually that's actually a really good segue to our introduction, because that's kind of where we come from politically, really. We want to make common sense out of things that should be common sense but aren't viewed as common sense yet. But, we're part of that movement to help people understand things. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would totally agree. I would totally agree. I would like to point out that the fact that it's not common sense, I feel is intentional.
Absolutely.
I feel that's it's something that was planned, wanted, frickin', and over the course of the last 40 years at least, probably a little more, it's just been slowly but surely more and more put into the water supply. That the things that we all know to be true aren't. And I can't imagine why we bought it, except to say that a decade or two ago we didn't have each other like we do on the internet nowadays. So we probably didn't have any idea that everybody believed the same way that we did, a decade or two ago. And I actually, I can remember the 90s. I remember not thinking that anybody else thought the way I did.
Right. No, we're coming together to do this podcast. You and all my regulars and all the people that are willing to pick up my phone. We're coming together to do this because we care. We genuinely care, and we care enough to spend our free time, reading between the lines and learning what's actually going on. And we want to deliver it to you in a fun and friendly manner, which is no easy challenge. Trust us.
Not an easy task at all.
No. We had a hard time getting here, and we understand that my target audience, at least, is people that do have a hard time. They're getting turned off by Rachel Maddow. They're getting turned off by Tucker Carlson. They're getting turned off by everybody. I want to reach the non-voters and the non-politically engaged. As a human with politics.
Argument I have for that, in my opinion, is that to take an apolitical stance is still a political position.
That's right.
Anyway, you were saying.
Not much. I think that kind of works for the intro.
Oh, my reason for coming along for this ride is what else I'm gonna do on a Wednesday evening.
Tuesday, my dude.
Okay.
What else am I do? So.
What else am I gonna do on a Tuesday evening? Wednesday, dude. It's ended with Y. Okay, close enough. What else am I going to do on a Wednesday evening, Tuesday evening, Thursday evening, Friday evening, Sunday afternoon? Doesn't matter. What else I'm going to do? And two.
Oh, you know what? I screwed up. I should have let you get away with Wednesday because there's no way I'm going to get this done. Yeah.
Well, we can. That'll just end up on the cutting room floor. Anyway. But what else am I going to do? And not only that, I feel, as a lefty myself, that my political allies tend to be making some really, really, really foolish moves. And that's both in the public sphere, like in the political offices, but it's also in the private interpersonal stuff as well. And so, like, I actually, want to win this game. My biggest motivation is to get out there, or is to speak about how we can get our message across. It's not really that difficult. It's really not that hard. And really, when it comes down to it, we all think the same way when it comes to that. It's just we're kind of conflicted on how we get to the same place.
Right. Okay. So I think I want to segue into, we were talking earlier about keyboard warriors. And,
yeah.
You and I are both keyboard warriors, and we know a few. And like, I want to say up front that the mainstream media tells us to don't bother being a keyboard warrior. They make fun of keyboard warriors and tell you that it's useless and that nothing is going to happen. But you and I both know amazing people across the country because we do the keyboard warrior thing. And that, in my opinion, is why they tell us not to do it. Let's touch on that.
Well, I think, in my humble opinion, if we start talking to each other about politics, it's also why, at least for the time that I've been around, it was considered rude to talk about politics or religion anywhere. It's considered rude, period, across the board. We've kind of culturally made it something that we don't get into, and I mean, that's just not how a democracy runs. That's just not how it works. That's not the idea at all. It's ugly. It's making sausage. We're gonna argue, and we're gonna get over emotional, and we're gonna get miffed, and so on and so forth. And it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen a lot. Although I admit that the key to making your argument is to not do that, but it does happen. But but still, the point is that if nobody's out there doing it, then we're all just blind. And another reason why I want to do it is because it's like whack-a-mole. Sooner or later, they're going to go after people like Jimmy Dore. They're going to go after people like they're going to go after probably not the Young Turks because they're pretty in the box, but they're going to go after Jimmy Dore.
I think there's certain things that they're being paid to say.
I think you're right about that. I really do. I think
that's a whole episode by itself.
That's an entire episode by itself. But I think that sooner or later they're going to come after Secular Report. Who's the guy that does Secular Report? What's his name?
He is whip smart. Kyle Kalinske.
Kyle Kalinske, that's his name. They're gonna go after people. They're like him.
Yeah,
they're gonna silence him.
That would be hilarious. I mean, I think Kyle Kalinske is like the Bernie Sanders of talking heads. You know?
I think you're right. And when that happens, then it's kind
we
of
gotta step up. We gotta be there to replace him.
Yep, that's kind of it right there. And that it's not that I'm like looking forward to that or anything like that, but
no, but we have to. If we claim to give a shit, we got to do something about it. You know, we got a phone bank for our favorite candidate. We got to call our Congress people if they disagree with us on something important to us. We can't wear our words as a badge of honor. We got to put action.
I'm not here to virtue signal, and I'm sure that if you listen to me long enough, you'll find out. I'm not here to virtue signal. I'm not here to make myself feel good or anything like that. I'm here to be as clear-eyed and objective as possible.
Right. But at the same time, even though we're just sitting at our desks, if we can encourage anyone to feel sane enough to take action on their own, we're doing more than nothing. Because it's a crazy, crazy world, right? And like...
That's true. Absolutely.
We gotta convince people. We gotta like show people what it's like to think from our side, even though like our side doesn't have a clear definition at all. Like I actually call it pan leftist. What would you call it? We're not afraid of questions.
I'm not afraid of questioning. I honestly don't have a word for it. I honestly don't have a word for it. Pan leftist is pretty good. I'm going to use that one. Let's use that.
Okay.
That works. You know. That works great.
Right, because where's the timer? Who cares? I'll pay whatever it takes to put this whole thing up, man. This is the inaugural run, and this is how long the show is going to be. But it's pointless to put labels on people that just want to live a free life, and like it's like Bernie Sanders said at the town hall. Yeah, that's what everybody thinks. Like so, that's what makes labels useless in some way. You know what I'm saying?
I feel, and I have the historical frickin' documentation to prove this. I feel that the whole frickin' reason that I can tell the difference between the color of this man's skin and that man's skin has a lot to do with what was going on in the 1920s. And it seems kind of strange to me that almost 100 years later, we're doing it with a more kinder, gentler, sing-songy way, but we're still pointing to the separation in the exact same way that we did in the 1920s. And it's for the same reasons, to keep the labor movement at bay.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this whole time while we've been talking, I've been showing Yellow Vest movement photos in the background. And that was a really good segue because it really is labor versus...
management.
Yeah, management, I guess, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Oligarchy, like, people don't really immediately understand that word. Yeah, I guess management would be a better word to use.
That's pretty much what it is. I mean, labor versus management. Yes, management is just working at the behest of the oligarchy, but it's not the oligarchy that's actually at heads with you. It's management. They're the ones that are actually writing the policies and everything else. They're the ones that are actually at heads with you. Of course, they're doing it from on orders from up above, but really, what's in your way is management. If management said, "Oh wait, my color is blue too," then there wouldn't be a problem.
Man, these pictures are beautiful.
Aren't they though?
Yeah, they really are. Okay, I feel ashamed to put my ugly mug back on the screen. All right.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
I've known uglier. I'm just kidding, bro. All right. So what do you think about that yellow vest movement going on over there? What's this, 24 weeks now?
No, 22 weeks.
22,
no,
huh?
No, 12 weeks. It's
not
almost
12.
Half a year.
It's not 12. It's yeah, it's 22 weeks.
Yeah. It's insane. And I'm extremely proud. And that's why it's my first background picture. I don't need an article. You guys know what the yellow vests are. You guys know what France is. But yeah, 2 weeks they've been going. That's amazing balls.
It is, isn't it?
6 months, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I find that to be a fantastic thing. I really do. They have inspired me. If I don't end up building one this year, I'm gonna build a guillotine next year in the summer. I got a whole bunch of spare wood, and I've got the schematics.
Just paint the yellow jacket on the axe part of it.
Right? Yeah. Not necessarily to do anything with it, just to drag it around with me every once in a while whenever I feel mad. And I want to go to town hall one day, just sort of cart that thing out there and freaking let them know that I mean business.
All right, so okay, let's get into part 3, which is like, how do we talk to people? You know what I mean? Like, how do we prescribe to our listeners to do what we're trying to do? If you get my meaning, like, we want more woke people. We want more people on our team. We know that people care, and we know that there is no actual such thing as teams. So let's move on to that.
Well, we can start from frickin' all humans essentially want 3 things. A safe place to raise a family with enough. That's it. It's just that simple. And
that was one thing.
No, that's 3 things. A safe place, thing 1. To raise a family, thing 2. With enough, thing 3. Anyway, those 3 things together unify us all. Across the board. There is nowhere, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And generally speaking, these people people that are your political opponents are working towards the same place. They're just trying to go about it in a different way. Now, my political opponents tend to be on the right. And the unfortunate part about it is that they're kind of right. You shouldn't be trusting the government. You really shouldn't. When you do, you get all kinds of really crazy parts about it. So in that one, or you get all kinds of crazy shit that happens when you trust the government too much. For example, like when President Obama killed a U.S. citizen who was a minor, without any debate, without due process, or anything. Now, his father may or may not have been a terrorist. It really doesn't matter. But that's not for the president to decide. That's for a jury. And if we decide to execute him, then we decide to execute him. It's still not for a president to decide. That's all to be taken care of in the judicial. So they happen to have arguments. They're actually not that wrong about what's going on. You should not be trusting the government. Now, here's where they're wrong. We also have this other pillar. We call them corporations. You shouldn't trust them either. And that's where we have, the right, they don't trust the government. The left, they don't trust corporations, generally speaking.
Right.
The fact of the matter is what we have is a government captured by corporations. You shouldn't be trusting either.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you got to find the middle ground. You got to meet people where they're at.
Where they're at, exactly. You have to meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
And additionally, every interaction is different. And so you can't just prescribe a way to get through with this person. It's a learning curve. It's a learning process.
Right.
But in my opinion, the only way that you're going to be able to get through is by listening and hearing what they have to say and what their concerns are, and then speaking to those direct concerns.
Right.
And that's the way that I've gotten a lot of headway.
Yeah, no, I really think this is really totally fine to talk about for a couple more minutes, because what I find really, really helpful is I ask people questions. I ask them where they are on issues and treat their opinions with respect.
Absolutely.
Even if I don't like it, I haven't heard their explanation for it yet. I can't do exactly what infuriates me about people that I perceive as my opponents. Gotta take the high road, and I think
it's hard sometimes, particularly when they're calling you a Nazi and freaking da 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 da. It gets maddening sometimes.
I think people are afraid of that, but I agree with you completely. Like, it's different. Every single person that you're talking to, like, maybe you can just win with your confidence sometimes.
Yeah, oftentimes I do. I freaking, staying on message and everything like that.
Yeah.
Is freaking just stay on message. Just don't like, oh, you're a Nazi. Like, the only thing the Nazi thing I do actually reply to, like, fascism. Fascism is defined as a government that is in control of that is a government that is under the control of the private sector. Those two freaking centers of power collude with each other to keep the power into a small group of people. That's a fascism. That's what we are. Like, I mean, we're fascists. All of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to try to bring up labels, and I guess we did it.
Yeah.
Like when I'm really getting heated with someone and they decide to go ahead and call me a liberal, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm triggered. I need to go to my safe space. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I need to send them to their safe space because I'm about to go off.
I know. I just the banter in my house is all about safe spaces all the time. Nice. Anybody raises their voice, like, here's your blanket. You need a safety blanket. Your safe space over there. You wanna, I don't know. You can just cry it out over there in your safe space, and everything's good.
One of the cooks that I work with at my job, his teacher says, "Want to cry? Go into the walk-in cooler." in meme form. Like.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I deal with it with my kids too. I don't say walk in cooler. I do. I hand them a blanket and say, "Go to your safe space." I'm sure that's not the right way to do it, but meh, whatever.
All right. I know this is going to sound a tad unprofessional, but do you have any idea how long we've been recording?
No, but I can find out.
That just means we're having fun and we're doing it right?
Yeah, I think so, but I can figure it out. Give me half a second. 43 minutes ago.
Okay.
And then let me see. I got on the call. Call details. Outgoing. It lasted 11 minutes, so 43 plus 11 is minus 11 is. So we're 32 minutes in or so.
Right.
So, yeah, there we go. Math, I know. It's crazy. I didn't do it.
All right. Man, I wish we could take some viewer questions right now. That's what I'd really like.
Yeah, that would be good. Well, I have a question for you.
Hell yeah. I love questions. We love questions on the Not Televised Revolution.
Always. Question everything. Why? When okay, now what was the question? All right. When God, now how do I phrase it? Okay, so no, it's not really your purview. What do you think about Ukraine?
Cool. I'm glad that you let the audience know that I don't know jack shit. Oh man, there goes our. I'm gonna have to edit anyway. So.
No. I didn't let the audience know that. I was like that.
No.
I was talking about something else.
I was talking about swear words. We're gonna go ahead and use swear words, and I'm gonna have to go back and edit them out.
Oh. Yeah. I'm a construction worker. I've been doing construction for like my whole life since I was 17. I've never edited myself ever.
Yeah, I know. I got 15 years of back of the house restaurant and 4 years of carnival ride operator, so it's gonna be hard to not fucking swear, okay?
No, it ain't gonna fucking happen as far as this fucker is concerned. I will fuck it up, I promise you.
I tried at the top, but it made it lame.
I can try, but I can tell you when I try to edit it myself, like the fucks slip out a lot more often. Like it's true. I'm freaking. I never even thought of that. But anyway, what do you think of Ukraine?
Good. Swear all you want, my dude. All right. Swear all you want because I will have to go back and edit that. That's work.
Okay. I'll do what I can do. I'll do what I can.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead from the top.
I was the thing that I was asking was what do you think about the Ukrainian election? That moving the Ukraine more eastward. Closer to Russia and further from us.
All right. I guess the first thing I think is that it's none of our business.
Not really. You're right. But it does affect us. we seem to be pushing really hard in, as far as NATO is concerned, we're pushing hard on the Balkan states, and we're putting a lot of freaking troops there.
Right.
And so, I mean, and Ukraine was a major part of that strategy. I just,
I think that you exposed our potential audience to the knowledge that we didn't prepare for this.
Oh. Well,
you put me on the spot, and I'm totally blushing. I know you can't see my camera right now, but yeah.
I can see you. I can see you there.
Can you see?
Wow. My bad. All right. We'll just edit out that entire question. We'll just edit out that entire question. That didn't happen. Let's pretend like I asked a different question. Hold on a second.
I only pretend to be smart. No, I only know shit that like really, really hits me. You know what I mean? Like election integrity and taxing the rich and being allowed to vote and ending the drug war, minimum wage. Stuff that affects me directly. You know what I mean?
Okay, then here's one. How do you feel about felons voting?
Felons, yes. My roommate apparently got some news that I haven't double checked it yet, but he got some news that somebody wants people that are still in jail to be allowed to vote, and he was up in arms about that. And
up in arms? Like, good thing, bad thing?
Bad thing to him.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can meet him halfway. He said, after you pay your debt to society, after you get out of jail, then you can vote. He's cool with it. And I think that's a fair stance. I don't know.
I guess that's a fair compromise. I just don't like the idea of our rights being looked at as privileges.
Right.
And anybody who's a fan of mine will probably be a fan of Carlin's. Rights are not rights when you can take them away. Those are privileges. They're privileges. That's it. And our list of privileges keeps shrinking as it stands.
Yeah, and when we view our rights as privileges, it's a very slippery slope. It's easy.
Absolutely. Like a right, like the right to vote, needs to be unalienable.
Yeah.
It just needs to be absolute.
I thought that was in a document somewhere.
Yeah. So, which one are we talking about? The Bill of Rights, or are we talking about the? Yeah. What was that all about again?
It's not like we didn't anybody, so it doesn't fucking matter, all right? So don't worry about it.
I'm not so convinced. If I walk down the street and I decide to if I go out into the woods and I'm hungry and I decide to shoot a deer, and I do so in the wrong time of year, and I don't really have the right paperwork. I don't have my papers, as I like to put it. And
they say that in Minnesota too.
Oh, your papers?
Yeah.
Oh, nobody out here calls it that. When people card me to buy booze, I'm like, oh man, I don't carry my papers. You got to be kidding me, man.
No, I'm talking about strictly related to like hunting and boating and
yeah. But if I'm hungry and I decide to go shoot a deer, skin it, clean it, treat it, freaking cure it, skin it, and hang it, so that freaking or field dress it right there, and I come out of the woods with it, and a police officer sees me with it, I am likely to go into jail for a felony. Out here.
It makes sense in a state like Minnesota actually does it in a sensible way. Like you should have a license so that we can keep track of how many animals are being killed, so we can protect our wilderness. But we're not going to send anyone straight to jail.
Yeah. Strangely enough, this is the same state out here in Pittsburgh. We have these shoots all the time. Actually, there's about to be another shoot where there's just too big a deer population around here. So we give out a license for hunters to hunt deer in the middle of the city. Every couple of springs, every couple of years, you'll start hearing gunshots and people running around with freaking deers all over the town.
So good. We did something I really hoped we would do during our launch, is that we talked about where we're from and the kind of people that we are and the mission that we want to do. Since I hope you're going to be one of my regular contributors, is there anything you want to throw out there?
Yeah, probably. But now I'm on the spot.
Deal with it.
I know. It's just my brain is drawing a blank here, so.
I think
I don't care
what everybody wants to say.
I don't care who is the president after 2020. We have learned from Obama that no matter what, it is actually on us. Freaking the New Deal. Who did the New Deal? Eisenhower? Was that Eisenhower?
No. FDR.
FDR. Perfect, right? Okay. So the New Deal, when he was put into office, and he was a sympathetic president, but he couldn't do it all on his own. He couldn't make the New Deal all by himself. He was quoted as saying, "You need to make me do it." And he was talking to the frickin' union workers. He was talking to the labor movement. You need to make me do it. So we need to learn from that. And we need to learn from Obama that even though there's a D in office,
right,
you can't close your eyes.
Right. No, that's an incredibly good point. Like, even if we look at Bernie Sanders' campaign, like over the last 4 years, he's become a much better politician because of us.
That's true.
And we have to keep
doing absolutely
that,
true.
no matter who goes into office. Well, I want to try to wrap it up right there, my dude, but I want to keep hanging out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to hit this little stop button here.
We stopping?
Yeah. We're not going to do any advertisers, so don't even think about it. Thanks for watching. Everyone have a good night.
And a great week.